This is just a regular weft without any hair color or anything on it, straight out of the bag. And so we are going to be practicing a virgin tint, say to, to darken, okay? Virgin tint to darken. And that just means that we're going to, don't have to worry about the heat zone. I'm just going to go on the scalp to the porous ends, okay? And once we've done the full application, then you'll go back and apply to ends, okay? Makes sense? Let me see if I can roll this up here. You can see this. Down a little bit. So you're just going to mix up. So you're going to mix up with your bowl. So always mix developer first. Make sure that your bowl is locked in nice and tight. And so your first numbers you get are right there at, you can get 20 mLs, okay, right there. And so I'm going to do 20 mLs. Is that the right one? 20 mLs of color. Okay. And then you're going to take your canister and be really careful, hold on to it. And when you first press down, it's going to really, really come out fast. So be ready, okay? So this one won't, because this is an old bottom and I had to go in there and use them. Hopefully it'll come out. Something, and then I have to check. Oh yeah, here it comes. So, and then you just watch the level of developer go up, okay, until you get to what you need. Okay, and then you can't measure it until you sit it down. Okay, sit it down, and then you'll be able to see. Okay, tiny bit more, and then I'm ready. Okay, so you can see in here that it's just white. Now this is a 4N. Just happen to grab a 4N, and this 4N is going to be a darker color, right? But you see that it's creamy, right? As if it was like a level 9 or a 10, right? So that means it hasn't been oxidized yet. So between the air in the room and then our developer is going to become oxidized. So by the time we get done, it's going to be a very dark brown, okay, almost black. Okay, any questions so far? So you're just going to stir this up and get it nice and creamy, just as you normally would.
Would there be like any difference if you use like 30 or 40 volume developer?
Is there a difference in the way it feels or the application of the color, how it develops?
Just how it looks, I guess. I don't know.
Not how it looks. No, they look the same, but remember the slide that talked about 20 volume was deposit or 1 level of lift. 30 volume is 2 levels of lift, and then 40 volume you get 3 levels of lift with Goldwell. Other color lines will be different, but as far as Goldwell is concerned, that's their levels of lift. So that's what distinguishes between 10, 20, and 30 and 40. Okay, how much lift you actually get. Okay, so I'm going to apply. So remember, we're going to go on the scalp to the porous ends. Okay, and then just to control, if I don't make a mess, I like to put a paper towel right underneath my first application. So using the web gives you, gives you an opportunity to play with the color without having to worry about your timing and your speed. We've been told you want to try to work on getting your color application on, your first application on within, say, 15 minutes, right? So with this, you don't have to stress too much. With the wet, you can get it on faster and watch it develop. Okay. Make sure you have something on the floor for drips. I already got one drip. You want to make sure that you have something to control your drips. Okay. I'm just going to do a couple of these, and then I'll go back and apply to ends so you can see. But fairly simple application. No fuss, no muss. And then you'll watch it process. And topchic processes in 30 minutes. Okay? 30-minute application time. Processing time.
So you're applying from the roots to the ends all at once? Is that what you said?
Roots to ends is my first application. So we're gonna do 1 and 2. Parts of the hair. We're gonna do 1 and 2. So we're gonna do scalp, hair, and mid shaft, and leave out the 3, zone 3. Okay. That makes sense? I couldn't get out the word zones. So zones 1 and 2 is the first application.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
And in that way, the reason we leave out zone 3 is because that hair is usually porous and is going to grab faster and absorb faster. So if you leave it out, you'll have a better chance of a more even application of color. You don't want to have really dark ends. It's just not natural. The hair should be naturally lighter at the ends and darker toward the scalp. Okay, so that's my first application. How am I doing on time?
Would it look different with the hot roots, like what you call, if you're applying it on the roots?
Would it look different with hot roots? Is that what you said?
Like they're more lighter on the roots when you're applying any color with the lift?
Yes. So 20 volume really is not going to give you hot roots unless someone has something going on physically that makes their body react differently to hair color. 20 volume is not enough. So when you start going into 30 and 40, that's when you can get hot roots. But if you were to get hot roots, it would just be a warmer, brighter color that will appear in the heat zone. So that 1/2 inch on scalp to the 1/2 inch. And that's all it's gonna kind of just like radiate in that area. Okay. So then you're going to go and apply to the ends. Simple as that. Okay. Same sections that you had the first time. These sections will be 1/4 inch subparting so that you get good saturation. Not as thin as the bleach application, right? 1/8. This one you get a little bit more leeway, so you get 1/4 inch subsections. Okay.
So this is 6N, right? The color that you use.
My color that I'm working with right now is 4N. I'm not sure what came in your kit.
4N.
So 4N would be like someone who was perhaps covering gray or wanted to be a deep, dark brown color, a neutral.
It's going to be very similar to what she has right now, so we would not be able to see much.
I'm hoping that it's going to be darker than this. This to me looks probably about like a level 5. And I'm hoping that this, usually Gold Well airs to the side of darker. So I'm hoping that her color will end up being around a level 3. So I'm hoping for a couple levels darker.
Okay.
So then I'm just going to pull these down. So you'll pull them down and then you'll let them process. Okay. And not her. Okay. So any questions about that? This is fairly simple. What's nice about using the permanent color, did you get a chance to see? It's just nice going darker. If you happen to know someone that wants to cover gray, you'll know how to do that, and they will love you forever. And then Top Chic has really nice shine. It's it's really stable. So you're gonna, what you think you're gonna get is what you're gonna get once you get used to the color. Whereas sometimes porosity plays a part in the colorants and things like that. So it's a little bit, sometimes you don't always get what you want because of the porosity of the hair. But with this Top Chic permanent hair color, it's going to do what it's going to do pretty much no matter what. Okay, you have to have really, really, really damaged the hair for it to not do what you think it's going to do. It's very predictable. Okay, any questions about the application? You can do it on the weft. You can do it if you don't have a weft. You can try to do it on a doll head. But that's going to be our assignment for the day. You sure nobody has any questions before we stop recording? Okay, let's stop. And then